Hey everybody, my name is Audacity. Welcome back to the 20th episode of the Editor Cast. Today our guest will be the one and only Archie. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me on.
Of
I'm
course.
Archie, and I've edited for Tommy, TommyInnit,
Yes, TommyInnit.
um, which is
Um,
my current main client. And I've previously worked with Wilbur, Schlatt, um, previously Carson as well, but all that
okay.
stuff that's gone down.
All right. Well, of course it's an honor. But yeah, I mean, I honestly got to know you through Tommy, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do
yeah,
know
of
you've
course.
worked with very high-profile YouTubers in the past too. I think I used to watch Carson a lot in the past but I
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah,
you edited for him, so
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I edited from quite a bit, especially during S&P Live, because I used to watch some of his stuff too.
Oh,
Until
okay.
on all the recent stuff. But at that time, I wasn't working for him, so that was in the past.
Yeah, all right, that's fine. So let's start with the more the formatting stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
the first question that we do with everybody here is the story of how and when you started editing.
Right. Well, so I think it starts out with, I don't know if it's the same for many other content editors, but when I first started out, it was due to me wanting to create my own content. Obviously, I wanted to make Call of Duty videos at first. I was a big fan of Call of Duty Zombies, so I was going to do just cut up videos of me talking. So I first found out if I had to record the video, I also had to edit it. So I downloaded Sony Vegas because I heard it's quite popular and it was the go-to at the time. And over time, I started getting more and more of a fan of the editing process as I started watching more videos online. Like I'd watch videos from Corridor Digital and stuff, and it really really interested me. So as that started to spiral into place, I was then told to download Premiere and then possibly After Effects with that, which was the biggest jump for me. Um, and then I found myself wanting to do quite a lot of motion graphics. So I tried motion graphics. I tried making different visuals. I tried to make, I tried, to do your very fundamental, basic motion graphics in After Effects, and I was a big fan of doing it. So I post stuff all the time, like different graphics I do. I did stuff like, I did my graphics on stuff like the Red Reserve. I was a fan of them at the time, but I'd do like fan made motion graphics. I'd post onto my accounts. I try get some, popularity off it. Try to get some, people watching my stuff, but never really caught on until I started editing sort of like meme sort of videos. Like if you've watched Lil Board, um, Lil Board, it's essentially kind of like quick cut videos with like heavily, like After Effects heavy effects on each clip to
Uh,
or have you watched a guy called Muchdank who edits like all the rapper sort of interviews and he adds all the effects on it?
yeah, I
It's
think.
just yeah. It's exactly like that, but I tried to do it with Call of Duty commentator or like commentary channels and stuff.
Oh,
And
actually.
that's where my first client picked up, which was Mr. T Lexify, because he was really interested in it and he saw the video that I made. Um, so he picked that up, and eventually, due to how clients work, I worked with him for a year or two, and then another client reached out to me because they were interested because they saw the work, um, and it picked up from there until I started posting more of the meme stuff, or like just little short videos and stuff.
Yeah.
People started coming to my channel from these clients. So as more people came to watch these videos, essentially what ended up happening was it started getting recognition for the videos itself opposed to me working with clients. So that interested my future clients. And that's when I first started watching S&P Live. And I tweeted at Schlatt one time saying, "Hey, are you looking for a video editor?" And Schlatt saw the tweet and he direct messaged me on Twitter within 10 minutes saying, "Hey, I'm sure we can have you on the team. What would you like to do?" And
Oh,
that's it was I never realized it, but tweeting at the content creator does kind of help with landing the editing job.
okay.
um Being forward, like, hey, you're not going to get the job from you know if you really really want a job, you might as well be upfront about it and reach out to them.
Yeah. Well, I've never reached out to a client through like tweeting at them.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. It's because usually it's like emailing, or it's like you make a portfolio and you like shoot over a message or something.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it was one night at university where I was pretty drunk, and I was watching SMP Live, and it was towards the end of the night, and I was just in my bed, and I saw it was live, and I was just like, mate, if I just shoot him a tweet, because I really wanted to edit for like Schlatt, because I was a big fan of his content at the time,
Yeah.
and it was pretty quick response, which was it was awesome. And then out of there, obviously working with Schlatt, that's how I managed to pick up the Tommy job, and that one was very interesting because when I was working for Schlatt, it was also while I was working for Carson. And essentially, when SMP Live started to like finish, or like as it slowly began to move on to the next chapter where they were all stopped playing SMP Live,
Yeah.
they all actually started. They all stopped posting content for a while. So as an editor, I needed to pick up another job, and
Okay.
that's when Tommy reached out to me, and I actually blanked his message like 2 different times, which I felt horrible about. But it's because at the time he had around 100K subscribers,
Yeah.
and I was trying to go. I was trying to go for like big clients and stuff. But at the time, I was like, hey, I'm happy to do the work, because he was a really nice guy and stuff, and got me on board. But then it was like a potluck. I don't know how Tommy managed to do it, because he went from 100K to a mil in less than a year, and then that went
Oh,
from 1 mil to 10 mil. It's
yeah. I
just
think he went
yeah.
from 100K to a mil in like 3-4 months. That was really
Yeah.
fast.
It was crazy growth. Like I've never seen it before. And if I'm gonna be honest, when I picked up the job, I thought it was gonna be kind of like a temporary job for me until I get the next client coming through.
No,
Because
because I remember for
Mhm.
Tommy, I subscribed to him when he was at like 80, 90K, and he was doing these Skyblock
all
videos.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was doing these Skyblock videos, and I was like, okay, this guy's fun. He has good content. Because like for me, like I have like a really high content thing where if it's not well edited content, even if it's funny, I just don't
Yeah,
watch it.
same.
Yeah. So
Yeah, like in the back of your head, you've always got kind of like a quality it has to reach, like editing wise. I think that's something
yeah,
to do with editors. Like as soon as you
yeah.
know about the editing, it's like the quality kind of changes it for you.
Definitely. So basically, I was watching this guy and I was like, oh, 80, 90K, this sounds sort of underrated. He's making good content. I subbed to him. And then I had
Mhm.
my exams. So I was like on a break, sort of. I didn't have my PC.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then COVID came along and then my exams got canceled. So 1.5 months later, I come back onto YouTube and this guy's on like 400K. I'm like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I hope it's a good inspiration for people to realize, like, literally nowadays anyone can become a content creator, or anyone can do it. Like, there's no like limit to, because a big thing is people saying, oh, I'm too, like, I feel, I've got squeaker voice, or I'm too young, or I don't know enough about content, or I don't know if Minecraft could do so well. Like that
Yeah.
kid just put all of it into it, and he edited his own videos for a very long time. Like up until I'd say 100K, he probably edited his own videos, and then
Crazy.
Larry was brought onto the channel, and those two like smashed it.
Yeah, actually, I want to get Larry on one of these too because
Oh, 100%,
Larry
mate.
is yeah Larry does most of the videos actually. You do the like
Yeah.
high
He
production
does.
ones.
Yeah, exactly. The thing about Larry's a machine. So even when like I'd have a quite high workload in my opinion, like when he passed on videos to me, I thought I was doing quite a lot. But like by the time I could finish one video, Larry could have 2 or 3 videos finished, and that's not like low quality or anything. Larry would do higher quality than me, and he'd pump it out 2 to 3 times. It's insane. His workflow is like unmatched. That man is bloody great at what he does.
Yeah, because I was like look I saw one of your edits on Tommy's channel and I was like this is good motion graphics and then I like I go
Yeah.
to the description looking for the editor and I find your channel. And then I click on the next video and I felt like a difference in style sort of, so I look in the description
Yeah.
again and that was Larry. And then I was
Mhm.
waiting for like another one of your videos, and then
Yeah.
I started looking around on the channel. I couldn't find one, but then I sort of forgot about this. And then recently, when he made that college video, like how everybody in my college
Yeah.
found out, and that was edited by you. And then
Mhm.
so I instantly noticed. I was like, oh yeah, this guy again. And I think that's when I messaged you actually initially back
All
then.
right. Yeah.
So
That hey. Yeah. It's usually the like the the heavily motion graphed ones that pick up the like attention for whenever I work on a video, because I have worked on previous ones which is just the regular Dream SMP ones, but it tends to be the MoGraph ones which gets everyone's attention.
Yeah, but like the ones in actually the college one was edited really well, and I was wondering how
I
much time
appreciate
went
it.
into that. I actually wanted to know.
So for those ones, it's surprising because obviously with our like schedule, it's like a video a week nowadays. But for that one, I asked for a week just because of at that time. Well, I originally had a week, but I asked for extension, like to have 2 weeks, just because at that time I was dealing stuff with college and university because I had like assignments and things due, which Tommy was very nice about it and let me do that. So it was around 2 weeks, but I didn't have to spend every day, working on it. I had to focus, like I'd say, half of those 2 weeks working on uni projects.
Yeah,
it was a very stressful time.
Yeah. I was like, so I saw the Tommy Wad's channel, and that had posted the like how everybody in my college found out, and I was like 50 minutes long, and I was like, I have to do work, I have to do client work. I'm not gonna watch this. He's probably gonna make a video about it. So I'm gonna wait for that. And then as soon as that came out, I click on it, and then I'm like, oh, this is that same guy. And so that way, solved like 4 different riddles for me.
Yeah, because it was really smart with what Tommy wanted to do. He wanted to do that sort of style on story time videos where there's not really much of because he plays he'll play Minecraft in the background, but he has his main focus on the story or talking to the chat. So he likes to have it something at least visually going on. He's always got something going for each part of his content. So like for his mod videos, he's got different perspectives. For his story time videos, he's got the MoGraph. And then, like, for, as you see in his vlogs channels, he's got, like, crazy editing on that sort of stuff. There's always, like, cool little things he's got on each sort of series of videos he wants to do, which is cool. Yeah,
so actually, I wanted to ask you, how much time does it take to do, like, a multi-POV video? How is that annoying at all?
It is, multi-POV can be an absolute pain, but you can, because it's usually just a week deadline, and we're able to meet them quite well. So it usually just it takes a week that it gives us. Before it could be shorter, but with now the amount of people that are in the POVs and stuff, and also there's also some things where if we get footage, it'll be different size. Someone will shoot their footage in super high quality, which might be like 20 gigabytes. So it takes long to download it and then ingest it, and then turn it to proxies and stuff. So It can be a pain, but once you sat down, you can whoosh past it, get it all done. So maybe a week or less, I'd say.
I think the hardest part of those has got to be like when they're not even in the same VC, because a lot of the time, like Wilbur and Slamsicle will be in a different one, and then Tommy and So
essentially, you kind of cut that. When you get to that section where they're going to separate VCs, you essentially separate the two perspectives into two timelines. So like you cut up so let's say Slimeskull and Wilbur will be one. You get those two perspectives, put them together, separate it from Tommy and Filzer, let's say. You have to separate those two in separate timelines, cut those down, and then you have to kind of slot them in obviously with ensuring that matches the time, matches pacing, and also it actually makes sense where it's being slotted. So you're not slotting in a bit where you looking at the Minecraft players, you go back in time, then you go forward in time. It has to make sense.
Of course. All right. So, I mean, you take about a week to do one video for Tommy.
Yeah, I'd say so. About a week.
All right. Well, I think that's actually
in the past. Yeah, it's. I mean, once you sat down, like when you hear it, it's quite long. But once you sat down and you get given the footage, it could be So one thing one thing that also includes is feedback. So when we finish a video, we'll send it to Tommy, and Tommy will give us a feedback list, and then we keep doing that until the video is perfect. So you could have up to like 3 or 4 drafts with like 50 points. Saying different things in the video or more. Sometimes it goes even higher. Okay. But then you have to go back, fix the video, send it back. There'll be even more points or like slight, mistakes you might have made. And then you clean it up again, and then you shoot it over, and then hope for it being the final draft. So that also includes in the week. There's a lot of it is drafting and feedback and fixing it.
Yeah, because I recently started content editing. I do like more montage stuff, if you know what like
Yeah,
that
of
side of
course.
editing is.
Oh, I wanted to get into the montage area, but I was so bad at it.
Well, that's the thing. So I was in montages, and everybody was saying like, "Oh, the bag is in content editing," because montages are never worth it. It takes like 8 hours to make it, and then
I know,
yeah,
yeah. I hear stories of people working on that sort of project for like, mate, I've heard someone take a month on it and then it just doesn't come out
yeah,
you know, with the right, because the amount of work that goes into that sort of stuff and then the payback is super, super unfair.
yeah,
So I mean content editing is a good spot to be in because you can charge hourly and you can also get stuff done quite quickly. And also, it's not something that's necessarily like a montage where it kind of reflects your work. It's something that's more about, cutting down the video for the client and then just getting it up on the channel.
yeah,
Sorry, what were you
definitely.
saying about the.
Yeah. Basically, no, what I was saying is when I saw that stuff, and I recently need like a new PC and stuff because like my PC is
Right.
quite old. So I was starting to get into content editing. I think it's been about a month, or a bit more.
How are you finding it?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely fun, but some parts are not. But for example, the
Yeah.
bad PC. It shows when I'm trying to make a 5 hour video like into a proxy, 5 hour VOD into a proxy.
Oh,
It
it's horrible, isn't it?
on average it takes me about 100 hours to render that.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, no, that's honestly the ingesting or like working with proxies on a bad computer, because I also had a bad computer, but I only recently upgraded. It was horrible. It genuinely is the worst. And I
Yeah,
feel for anyone that's, you definitely save up the money to get the good PC. It's definitely worth it in the long run, especially with content editing.
yeah. So, but like it's an enjoyable experience, and
Yeah, yeah,
I'm having fun with it, especially like when you do the memes and everything. Um,
yeah, exactly. So you get to
so
have your own little thing inside the video.
yeah, so it's definitely fun. I want to get more into it. I want to learn more. I want to get better at it. But
Yeah, keep at it.
yeah, but there's also times where you just like you want to go back and make another montage because that's just how us montage editors function. Because if you look at like past episodes of this podcast, I belong to the montage editing community sort of. So
Yeah.
most of the guests that have
We're
been on
from
here,
montages.
yeah,
Mhm.
so most people that have been on here work on montages. But like I think 3 guests that have been on here were like montage editors who have transitioned into content editing recently.
Yeah, 100%. See, I'll tell you this now. The montage creators are some of the best content creators, 100%. Because it's montage editors. You essentially have studied. You've done the best you can to learn all the effects, learn workflow, learn all these different cool things to put in the video. And it's, in my opinion, I think the montage editors are, or the montage creators are the like the best in the whole like content editing scene, just because of like how much they explore into the video, opposed to just you know trimming it, throw it into the client and hoping the best. Like in
Yeah,
my opinion, I find it the best. I was watching Davis's one,
yeah,
and he made a very good point though, especially if you're when people start out on it. Make sure you he made a very good point of making taking breaks and making sure you're not overworking yourself, because man, that's the number one thing with editing. And I think you probably can agree with me that once you sit down on a project and you want to get it done as fast as possible because deadline's coming soon, and you like overwork yourself, you stay up, it's tireless, you hate it so much. But if you overwork yourself, you end up learning how much you hate it, and it becomes like a regular job.
yeah.
When you want to kind of keep enjoying it and adding your own flair into it. So I think
True.
that's a good point to reiterate.
Very true. Yeah, because obviously like why we all chose this path, or what actually I think everybody that I've had on here so far, everybody that chose this path was because they liked it. It was a fun
Yeah,
thing to do,
100%.
and that turned into a career. And I love that about things, like, when you're passionate for something and you turn that into a career, and you're
Yeah,
definitely gonna
exactly.
be way more happier in life doing that than a 9 to 5 job with a, say, more stable
Exactly.
income. But
Yeah, exactly. And we're getting to a point where it can actually become a an actual job. It's actually becoming a thing people can work towards to eventually be able to just live off becoming a just specifically a YouTube video editor. Um,
yeah, I
so
mean,
I hope
definitely.
it keeps making that stride.
Yep. So, well, I have a lot of things that I want to get into. Like I wanted to get
Yeah,
into
of course.
content editing, and I did that. And I also want to get into 3D and real life filmmaking. But like,
Hmm.
for the time being, I'm working more on content. And I think one thing I noticed is when content editors need to transition towards montage editing, they have to learn a lot of things, a lot of new things.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
in our case, when a montage editor transitions to a content editing thing, I
There
think we
isn't
don't.
anything you really need to learn.
Yeah, we don't need to learn much. Like, everything I've done so far, I already knew how to do. But one thing I noticed was that montage editors have you need to learn how to make this your workflow a lot faster.
See, yeah, that's the one thing I was going to bring up. It's about one thing is learning your workflow. Because obviously people that start off as content editors, they learn a lot about workflow first,
Yeah.
which because I wouldn't say I'm a montage creator, but back when I first started learning, I went from Vegas and then into After Effects before Premiere. And I
Yeah.
wanted to learn more motion graphics slash montage editing, but I was very bad at it. One thing that you're very good, like it's a good point, is you don't really learn the workflow. So you don't learn about for instance, creating proxies. You don't learn about keeping organized bins. You don't know about what's when how should I edit? Do I edit first? Do I slap on the effects then secondary, and then when I work in After Effects, do I work in dynamic link, and then how do I make it so it doesn't render, I don't have to render it every bloody time. um it's learning about all that workflow stuff. The good thing though is learning that is such an easy task compared to throwing yourself into, let's say, After Effects and learning all the effects that
True.
montage creators will learn, or like all the
Yeah.
3D stuff you'll have to learn.
Definitely, because I mean, it took me about a month to optimize my workflow, sort of,
So, yeah, so
to
that's
the
not too
point.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah, like to the point that I was editing the video that I was editing in 4 days previously. I can do that in a single sitting now. Um,
that's good. Nice. Yeah.
yeah, especially, like, those little tricks that content editors use, and I know these because of some friends that have been editing content. So thanks to them. But the trick with the QWE cut, or how Davis
Oh
does
yeah,
them,
yeah, yeah.
like, Davis does them through his mouse buttons, and
Hmm.
stuff like that. I like, that's really, really crucial. I mean, just
Yeah,
like,
you could get to a point where you're not even touching your mouse and you're purely just pressing like 3 to 4 keys, and you can edit a video just
yeah,
doing that alone, which is it's crazy, but hey, like I mean, optimizing your workflow so you can literally just sit down and pump out a video in a day is such a good feeling, and you can get to that point with any sort of content.
definitely. Because I mean, I was I started, and the longest part of a content video, and the what can get the most boring, is
Oh,
subtitling the video. The subtitling part.
oh god, I
Yeah.
the subtitling is, I hate the subtitling portion of any video. Subtitling is the bane of my existence. Having to sit down and like spend nearly like, I just I don't know if you feel the same, but subtitling is the longest tedious part of the video, where sometimes like I've even outsourced it so I can focus on the effects of a video. Like for
Yeah.
instance, the college video, I've had to just outsource it because it's so tedious. I just hate it.
I mean, I think Premiere is working on this AI thing where it can
Oh
automatically
yeah.
detect speech and then convert that into subtitles. So I hope that comes
Mhm.
up soon, because
See,
that'd save so much time.
I know, yeah. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope it rolls out, but I hope it's good as well, because I mean, when it comes to translating people's voices, I can tell for a fact translating a British lad's voice is going to be very hard, because there's a lot of shouting, there's a lot of very fast talking. And I hope it's not your typical, text to speech where it tries to guess what you're saying and does a bad job. I hope it's, from what I've seen, it's very good.
Yeah.
But I hope it's, useful.
Well, artificial intelligence is pretty good, and I saw like
true.
a few.
True.
I saw a few when those demos that they posted, and especially I think they have put it out in the early access beta versions, and people have had good things to say about it. And obviously,
Larry's had a go at it, and Larry said it's actually incredible. Like it genuinely is really good. It's just it needs to optimize its workflow a bit better for when it comes to subtitling. But he says that should be probably sorted for when it comes out fully.
But like anyway, if if they make a feature like this, they're gonna make the subtitles editable. So if they mess up, you can fix it up, and it still saves you a lot of time. Exactly not having to do everything by yourself. That'll still save a lot.
It's a perfect foundation. It is just if it does it for me, and I can change all the things like I've seen in the video where you can change words that it screws up and stuff, and it's even got a good menu for it, which means like making sure the animations are copied over and making sure the text looks correct and stuff. I'm just looking forward. Like it seems like they've put effort into it, and it's a good forward. Like it's a good step forward for us. I'm looking forward.
And especially like how it even detects like if speaker 1 and speaker 2 like when different people are speaking.
Yeah, different voices. Oh, that's incredible. It's so cool.
Because most of us editors do this color coding with every subtitle, and that makes things easier with that. So
it makes it 10 times easier. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, a lot of us are looking forward to that. Let's hope that's actually like, really useful.
Rolls out quick.
Yeah, because I think that'll like change a 12-hour edit into like a 9-hour edit, like 8-9 hours. That definitely be. It's gonna be huge.
It'll be good for getting new content editors through the door, like people that want to try it, because I think as I've spoken to people, subtitling scares a lot of people off because it's a tedious process compared to just editing the video. So I hope it introduces a lot more people into the community.
Well, because when so my first content client was one of those people, on YouTube that post like these motivational speeches, right?
Yeah.
And there's not much content there. It's just like motivational speeches with the stock footage and then subtitles.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And that was my first client, and he was paying good money for it, but like it was like a 6 to 10 minute video, and I had a Storyblocks account, and I had to go on match the footage with where the speaker was. Yeah, and then subtitle the video. But and like just doing the subtitling, I didn't have to do like any memes or any edits, MoGraph, nothing, but just that subtitling thing, and I was just starting out, and I had like a really bad workflow too, and I was just like, wow, this is impossible.
No, yeah, oh my gosh. It's when you first get into it without a workflow, especially when it comes to subtitles, you genuinely could feel it could take a month. Like I was sat there and I was like, I can't do this in one session just because I couldn't focus. I didn't know how all the effects or like the quickest tools to use. I hated it. But that's crazy. No, yeah, I hate when it's starting out as well, especially.
And like I was the minute I found out about the alt drag trick, my life was changed.
Yeah, but it's bloody good, isn't it?
Yeah, because before that I was using that title thing to make subtitles.
Connection's dropping.
Oh, rep.
Oh,
wait. Sorry.
No worries.
Wait a second. All right, we're fine.
I think so. Speak again.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh yeah, that's good. Perfect.
All right, great. Sorry about that. Discord servers have been acting up actually lately. I don't know if it's been for you, but
it's been messing up for me too. Genuinely, like the past day has been the worst.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, since this last update something messed up.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like servers have been dropping out all the time.
Yep. All right. So getting back to the topic. So so you said Tommy was a nice person, but how would you describe working with him? Is it like what would you say if
working with Tommy, so a couple of things to know is Tommy's actually, like, although he's quite young and a lot of people know him from his content, Tommy's actually an editor himself. Like Tommy knows a lot about editing. Tommy's experience he's had a go at After Effects. He's got a really good eye for editing. So that means when it comes to the editing process, Tommy knows what he wants, or Tommy knows certain things. You know, it's not just like he throws the content to you, you edit it, and he slaps it up. Tommy will have like a very, you know, a very good process of screening the video, watching through it. He's got a really fast workflow, and he's insanely good at what he does. So it's very fun to work with him because it's like, you know, you bounce off back on each other. And when it comes to the content, it's very precise, but it's a lot of fun. And you know, you're making sure you're making good content opposed to, you know, like, let me just bash out this video and send it off to him.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of the times when someone doesn't have an idea what they're doing, they're just giving you the video to edit. You get away with some. You get away with some of the. You know, you compromise with some stuff. But
yeah, exactly. You're like, okay, this is a lot easier for me, or something. See, as an editor himself, he's just like, okay, now I want this, I want that, I want this. Although, like, even though he does that, he's such a he's super cool guy, really fun to work with. He's the same off, you know, on cam as he is off cam. He's just in general very, you know, genuine person, which is cool. You know, that's why I've, you know, stuck around editing with him, because he's just a genuine nice guy to work with.
All right, but he did get egoed by you 2 times.
Yeah, I feel horrible about that. I genuinely did, because at first I was just like, I thought I just didn't want to edit more Minecraft. I was just like, no, I'm not really interested. And I egoed him once, and then he linked me a video that I edited. He went, "Oh, this is really cool. I'm just wondering, would you be around to do edits?" And then I accepted it and picked up on it. Speaking of which, my first edit I did for Tommy was so bad. I apologized to him. I said maybe editing for him wasn't the greatest. I was so embarrassed by it. But he's just like, no, stop worrying about it. Stop panicking about it. It's totally fine. It's cool. Stop stressing. Yeah, because but starting out, it was very nerve-wracking as well, man. Yeah, always picking up a new client's very scary.
Okay, well, so you worked with him behind the scenes, and I've seen a lot of these videos on YouTube where they say that Tommy had this genius master plan strategy that nobody knew about, and just because he's a 16-year-old, people think that he's just stupid, but he's this, like, 200 IQ genius. Is that true? Was there actually a strategy behind all this?
No, so it depends when people say strategy. I understand what people say by like strategy. It's crazy. Like he just he did this. It's mad. It's like as a strategy. And I think a good way of thinking about it is Tommy saw an opportunity where he could. So his channel was seeing some, you know, initial success from Twitch, and he had some inspirations and stuff, and that's where he started out from. But Tommy's super hard working. So as soon as the pandemic hit and he realized he could essentially put all of his time into YouTube, he literally spent every like waking hour focusing on YouTube. He'd come up with plans, he'd come up with videos, he's got like boards upon boards of probably ideas. I think it all comes down to that Tommy's put in the hard work and it came out as he deserved. That paired with he's a very confident guy. He'll reach out to people for, you know, information, for help, for advice. Like he's always happy to just, you know, he's always happy to reach out to people and get, you know, the information.
Well, that confident part, actually, I want to talk more about that. Like, some people say he's blunt because, you know, sometimes this confidence can lead to very awkward conversations.
Right. Yeah. I think the bluntness is, I'd say, like when you speak to someone, in my opinion, I see it's a very British thing, being quite blunt or quite, you know, being upfront. But I think it's just him, you know, doing what he sees is best. So, I mean, like, it reminds me, for instance, reaching out when I first just reached out to Schlatt, just tweeting at him. Although that would be considered, you know, weird or a bit out of the ordinary. You know, being forward can always work out probably the best, to be fair. You know, having that confidence is definitely like it's you know, it's worth being confident, especially as an editor. I think you gotta be confident about your work, and especially when you're trying to, you know, pick up a client or pick up a job as well.
Definitely. I mean, you know, but on his streams, oftentimes there's just like very awkward moments when he just says something extremely blunt, and even the next streamer, like if he's collabing with somebody, they're just gonna be like, why did he say that?
Oh, see, that's confidence I could never. I don't think a lot of people could match. He's just a very confident guy, which is totally for it's he clearly sees people love that sort of confidence, and it's working out for him. And I think a lot of creators can recognize that, and they're like, hey, fair play to him. He's having that sort of especially like funny situations where the other person doesn't know what to say. Like I remember when I first started out and I was editing Tommy's first interaction with Vicstar. That was very fun to edit because it was almost like Tommy went in with a plan to be almost as awkward as possible.
Yeah,
while also trying to be like very entertaining. Yeah. But I mean, it always comes out. Being like that it's better than the typical creator on creator conversation where it's very like, hey, how's it going? Or the conversation, like we get to see it from a different perspective, which is a young guy that's a very blunt kid. You don't see that, so I think he really provides something cool to the table.
Definitely, because like especially I remember like this is like this was I think the first question like I think this was the first time he asked it to somebody, but now it's sort of just like a thing he asks everybody, and which is like, do you love women?
Yeah.
Or who's your favorite woman?
It's become a staple in Tommy's brand. It's do you like women? Yeah. Or who's your favorite woman? That's a very common one as well.
Yeah, everybody has to love the queen.
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently everyone loves the queen.
Yeah.
It always starts really good conversations there, so it's a very smart conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, but like Vicstar was just so confused. He was like, "What?" And then he just went, "My mom," and he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
And then Tommy's response was like, he was like, "No, that's not the."
That's not the answer. No,
that's not.
Yeah, that question's got one answer, so it always provides the funniest reactions.
And especially, I think that's what makes Technoblade and Tommy's conversations the best, because Technoblade's also like this serious and like very what would you say? He has this impression of being the big guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's like a 16-year-old kid asking him stupid
questions.
Who's
very confident, asking, stupid questions. Yeah, you always get a sort of good content creator dynamic when it's like that. When he says you've got someone that with. I think people can almost not essentially relate, but as a younger audience, I think people can relate to just going to these content creators going, like, do you like women? Or some dumb questions and stuff. And they're like, what? Yeah. What? What's this person just said? I think the main thing is he provides something that no other content creators really done, which is go to creators and say some ridiculous questions.
Definitely. Yeah, that's true. I mean, so you work with Tommy, and is there any other, you said he was your main client, but is there anybody else?
So, at the time I had no other clients, and Tommy reached out to me and I was like, okay, I'll pick up this job temporarily until, maybe another client comes out, and I get some work from them. But as Tommy's size just continue to grow like crazy, I was like, hold on a minute, this might be my main client and this might be the only person I work with. So for a very long time I ended up just purely working with him, until people in his group actually reached out to me. So people like Wilbur has picked up some work from me, and like I ended up working on the side with him, and then I started working again with Schlatt on the side from like time to time. And then even then I've picked up like temporarily or like one-time jobs. So like for Connor Eats Pants, I did like the Pantsies trailer. I've done some like little motion graphics work for other people, or pick up some temporary work. I've been offered opportunities, but I think as Tommy's content started to go bigger and bigger, and how the time it started to take longer and longer, I decided to focus on Tommy just as a main client and then pick up no other jobs. So yeah, that's the sort of situation I was in.
Okay, well, so but the question is, at this, basically, are there any other editors besides you and Larry for Tommy?
Well, so now you say that, Tommy's actually picked up a huge group of new editors, like a really big group, because he did the editing, you could apply to become an editor. He put the
Oh
form out.
yeah,
Yeah, and
I was
he
on a break at the time, and I was definitely gonna apply, but I
that's
missed the
so
tweet.
annoying.
And
I mean, in the future, you could always pick it up because I'm pretty sure he's going to continue looking for editors.
yeah,
May as well apply
like
next time.
so basically the thing was there was there's this month called Ramadan, right? If
Yeah,
you know
of course.
about it.
No, I understand. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And so
Oh God, yeah.
yeah, I'm a Muslim, and I was on a break for like to practice that month.
Mhm.
And I come back, and it's like the 14th or 15th May, and I see Tommy and it's looking
Oh.
for editors, and people. I haven't opened my DMs. I was just completely off Twitter, and there were like 7 people who DM'd me. Oh, Tommy's looking for editors. Apply for this. Apply for this.
Oh no, that's so unfortunate. It was a very like a bad month to time it. I feel very unfortunate.
Yeah.
For you, for
And then
instance. Well, that's
I
horrible.
opened it up, and like the same day, 2 hours later, he says, "Oh, the forms are closed," and I was like, "No."
Oh man, no, yeah, that's so unfortunate. Like, yeah, man. Hey, I'm sure there'll be like again applications again. It's not like it's gonna be a one-time thing
Yeah.
because you know what people are like. They're always scouting for editors.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tommy's picked up a whole team. He even picked up one of Wilbur's main editor, Elodie. She's on the team. And then there's gonna be a whole bunch of new people, but I haven't met them just yet.
Okay.
Because I'm also now focusing on more like I'm trying to pick up other jobs now. Tommy, I've still partially worked with Tommy, but I'm trying to pick up some more jobs to kind of do because I've been doing Tommy's content for like a year now. So I'm trying to see if there's other work I could pick up as well. So,
Yeah.
but there's a whole new team coming now. So you should be seeing different styles and different people now, which is going to be cool. I'm excited to see.
That will be cool. I think he actually did give a fan a try recently at a video, like the video in which he burns down George's house. I think
Yeah,
that was a new
I think.
editor.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think so. I think that's one of the newer editors actually.
Okay.
To the team.
Well, so how many are there like in total now?
I don't actually know how many there are in total, but all I know is it's a bigger group than just me and Larry. There might be 5 to 6, I think,
Okay.
or more potentially. Because the thing is, now Tommy's now got his main channel, his vlog channel. I think he's gonna be picking up the second channel. So it depends how things end up. Because everyone's now getting spread across the channels to work on stuff.
Yeah. True.
So.
Wait, so there's gonna be like 2 videos a week on every channel now?
I don't know the schedule just yet. I think Tommy's in the process of picking up the editors, and then he's going to work out a schedule for everyone.
Okay.
Just because the whole vlog channel is like a new thing that has just started. So we're gonna have to see how things go.
All right. So I've wanted to ask you about this actually. Your pinned tweet on Twitter. Is that like a full video because it doesn't have any caption? I was like, okay, if there's more of this, I want to see it.
Do you mean the ARG project that I've been working on?
I think so. The one that you have pinned on your Twitter.
Is it my current pin? Because I did just change my pin.
I think
my pin.
Yeah, because like just now I DM'd you. That video was on the pin.
Okay, cool. The one that says Archibald, it's got like the picture of me on it.
Yeah.
So that's actually meant to be like my reel, like my show reel. So it's essentially it's like a snippet, but it kind of turned into people kind of retweeted it enough so it's big enough. But it was meant to be, like, hi, I'm Archie, I'm an editor. I've worked with these people. I work in these programs. This is the amount of views I have. Please hire me. And it was just gonna have a couple of clips of like videos I've worked on. It wasn't. Ideally, it's not gonna be like a full video. I might just keep it to this. But it did get good reception, which I'm very thankful for because it was only 8 seconds long. So
yeah.
But
right.
I'm hoping it does well. Sorry, yeah, what were you saying?
Yeah, it's no worry. The thing is, I was like, so normally editors on Twitter have like 2,000-3,000 followers. I was wondering how you made up like a 40,000 followers.
So that's it. So there's 2 main factors. When I first started out, it was making the meme videos. That's like that. Those are up on my YouTube my YouTube channel. They've got quite a bit of views themselves, and because one thing I realized was Twitter meme pages or Twitter meme posters. I hate saying the word meme, but at the time you can get a lot of attention. Like my biggest tweets got like, I think it's like 54,000 likes.
Wow.
And that was before I worked for any clients. That was just from posting memes. So I got up to, I'd say, 10,000 followers from just that alone. But then when you work with Schlatt, Carson, and Tommy, and they credit you, it does boost those followers quite a lot. And then Tommy's super, super kind, and so is the people he's worked with. Tommy will tweet out, or like I might tweet out saying, I got a chance to work on this new Tommy video with motion graphics, go check it out. Tommy will reply saying, go follow Archie. And then I think Tubbo and Jack Manifold also replied saying, go follow Archie underneath it as well. Which, like, it pumps it out. Because I remember it, like, I think it was the span of like a couple hours, they boosted me up by 8,000 followers, which was... Wow. And he's done that a couple times before, which was very kind of him. He didn't have to do that, but that's I guess another reason for why he's such a cool person to work with. He's just a very nice guy.
Like right now he tweets, he gets like 40,000 likes in a second.
It's yeah, that's what I mean. There's a lot of people that have notifications on for Tommy. Like they love his tweets. So
yeah, because
you know what it's like when they see when he replies to someone.
It's like
I was just like, oh my god, it's so overwhelming.
I haven't had a tweet hit 1,000 likes ever. Not like so far. But like I kind of wonder how it happens, especially with someone like Tommy who just boof.
Literally, it's just
the
explodes.
Likes just explode.
Man, I'm just gonna. You might get one soon. You're probably gonna get some soon, especially as a content editor. As you work for more and more clients, you'll be able to. The thing is, man, it's it is super overwhelming at first, especially just like all of these new people seeing these posts and stuff. But like, it's all down to like. I think content editors are slowly becoming bigger and bigger from like just their Twitter accounts alone. Because people like, I mean, for instance, just, having this cast, I've been watching like, a lot. I see a lot of people watch these podcasts and stuff. It's clear people are very interested in the editing side of stuff, and it's cool seeing people have such a big interest. I think it should spread out to most, content editors like yourself. I think you'll be gaining more and more followers over time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I wanna grow as an editor brand, sort of.
Yeah, 100%. It's very smart move. Very smart move.
Because I saw actually after you retweeted my tweet about the questions, I saw that Sapnap's editor followed me, who I didn't know before.
Strike.
Yeah, Strike.
Yeah, Strike. Yeah, Strike's a lovely kid. He's he would be a very good person to get on the podcast actually, because he's quite a young editor himself. So if you got him on board and you have a conversation about stuff, I recommend it.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely look into that. Okay, Strike, if you're watching, maybe check your DMs.
yeah, definitely. He's a good editor.
Yeah. So I saw that, and I didn't know him before that, but like I looked at his Twitter, and he also only has a couple thousand, I think 3,000. But then that's the thing. Like normally the trend with editors is hardly 5,000, 6,000, and then I was like 40,000. And actually, when I DM'd you first, I was not expecting a response because I've DM'd a lot of editors with like a fourth of your followers in the past and not gotten a response.
Oh, I mean, yeah. See the ego. It's hard to say because I do go through my message requests and there's some things that I'd love to reply to, but I know the outcome's just going to be me saying, sorry, I can't take your job, or sorry, you're underpaying, or sorry, I can't work for free, or sorry. Essentially, it's kind of deeming that, let's say an account that might have like, 103 followers is asking for me to edit for them. I don't want to be that guy, but I won't reply because I kind of know the outcome, because I feel like 2 years when I was trying to pick up work, it would be the same sort of payment, which is like, £10 per video, or like, less sometimes. But when I saw like an opportunity where you DM'd me and it was like for the edit cast, I was like, oh, that's a really good idea, getting editors on, talking to them. So I thought, it would be a missed opportunity to take on board, especially seeing the people you've had previously as well. I was looking through the different people you've had. It's very cool. I'd say it's the only podcast that you've had like genuinely like such a big variety and like really popular editors on. So
Yeah, I
respect to
mean,
that.
thank you. Like that means a lot, definitely. Because I'm, what when I started this podcast, right? The aim was I had like 800 followers back then, and I have a
All
lot
right,
of
well,
people that inspire me. Like just a ton of people. And like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's different aspects about different people. Some people's determination, some people, just in editing, and there's a lot of things that inspire me. And so I was just like that the purpose of this podcast is for people obviously to listen and to learn, but mainly for me to get an opportunity to talk to everybody that inspires me, and that
Yeah,
I
no, it's such a smart idea. It's a really good project.
yeah.
And it's obviously got, fans, which is good, and it's cool to see people are, editors are watching these podcasts, and it's a good thing you're doing. So I gotta give you respect for that, because it's also helping out a lot of new editors that want to get into editing and hearing
Yeah,
perspective from different people.
definitely.
So good on you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Because I mean, I think I've been very successful at that. Just talking to my inspirations and like
Oh,
seeing.
connection's dropping out again.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, it's this. That's on my end.
Yeah, no. I think this is like just Discord server stuff. This happens a lot.
Yeah, perfect now.
All right. Um. So yeah, like we were saying, the podcast actually initially when I wanted to start this, it was a pretty shaky idea. I almost didn't do it, but then
Oh, really?
yeah, and then I was just like, no, I wanna talk to people about editing, about what I do and how they do it, and I just like yeah,
Mhm.
like I don't have
Definitely.
anything. I don't have
Honestly,
anything
keep
to
at
lose.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's a good deed in my opinion. I think it's a very smart thing to give people voices as editors, but also give viewers a perspective of something they, might not see, which is, a lot of editors, I know what editors are like. They don't reply to DMs, they focus on their work and then just continue doing what they got to do. But having an
yeah.
actual outlet for people to watch is super cool. And I think you can take it into really good places.
Yeah, definitely. Because, like I said, this was like for me to talk to my inspirations, and then I was like, okay, like people are taking their time out to watch this, so I was like, why not do
Yeah,
like
exactly.
viewer questions and like get their answers too.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
That's cool.
speaking of viewer questions, we're gonna move towards those now.
Good segue. That was good.
Well, I watch a lot of Linus Tech.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Alright.
That was a king segue.
All right. So the first question actually comes from Archie Stan, and they
Oh,
ask,
God.
"Does going to university help your career?"
Oh, wow. That's a really good question, actually, just because of my experience with the university so far. See, obviously, you've got to be careful when answering this question, because there's a lot of people that are either in uni or wanting, parents want them to go to uni, and I think the first factor is, your number one factor should be going in for the experience. Are you willing to, obviously spend the money? Are you ready to be in debt for quite a while for either just the experience or the qualifications? And now if you start to think you don't really want to do it, you've also got to think what degree you're getting. So for instance, for me, I'm doing film production and visual effects. However, it's for the film industry, and I don't really want to go into the film industry. So I think it was kind of a waste for me. And I'm not a very big fan of it. I think there's a lot more for any sort of, specifically editing and visual effects. You can, okay, so I'll speak about visual effects separately, but editing is something that you could purely do online by just watching tutorials, and you won't be in debt for the rest of your life. If you do want to go though, I'm not stopping you from going. I think it's a very good idea to go, just because I think it's good for your social experience, or meeting new people, speaking to people. I think it's always good to do. But in my opinion, I would tell people not to go to uni now, especially because I went in with my first year, and in my first year the coronavirus started, and that's when I have to now do classes online for a course that you handle equipment like cameras, gimbals, lighting, all that sort of stuff. So I don't think, in my opinion, for editing, I wouldn't say so. But when it comes to visual effects, I don't really have much of a voice onto it, but I still know in visual effects you can do majority of it, and I think even the Corridor Digital crew even said it. You can do most of it just at home. You don't need to go to university for it. Don't listen to these people that are like quite elitist about it. Don't Don't let people say, "Oh, but I got a degree." Blah 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 blah. You can learn a lot of stuff online. Probably most of these lecturers that will talk to you and try and teach you will probably get that information from online for free. So it's just the only thing about visual effects is I'd say you get more out of it opposed to going for like film production. But in my opinion, I think I would go against going to uni just because it puts you in debt for a very, very long time. But if you want to go for the experience and at least to come out with a degree, why not? But I'd go against it.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely true. Because another one of the guests that I mentioned in actually earlier was Enigma. And
Right.
Another one of the people that I really look up to, and he's mostly into montage editing and stuff.
Yeah.
And he edits for this big organization, Liquid, and he's like very successful at this point.
Connection's dropping again.
Oh no.
Discord's really.
Wait, is it back? Nope. This is a rip. Sorry about this. All right, I think we're back.
Sorry. Continue what you're saying about Enigma.
Yeah. So Enigma, when he was on the podcast, he's also going to uni at the moment, and I asked him.
All right.
Almost the same question, which was like if it's worth it, and what he had to say about it was, he said that he thinks it helps in the professional life because of how
100%.
They teach you like these professional terms and all these things that you wouldn't know before. But in terms of knowledge and in terms of editing, he says that he most of the time knows more than his teachers do.
Yeah. It's surprising how much you know yourself than your lecturers do. I think that's a really good point, actually. One thing that a lot of like people outside of university tell you, like professional workplaces, is uni kind of tells you how to get contacts, how to speak to people in the industry, how to get that confidence. I'd say going to university expecting more about learning the industry and how to get into it opposed to knowledge. You will get taught some stuff for the knowledge, but you could learn more online and you could do better than probably your lecturer. But they will tell you about how to get connections in the industry because they got connections themselves. So yeah, I totally agree with Enigma on that.
Yeah, because another thing that there's on this whole matter is that this like people like you who are working on YouTube, you don't need to go into the industry like you said, and you don't want to go into the industry. So in that kind of context, this is useless because the only use is professional work, and when you don't want to go into the industry,
the servers are dropping again.
That is a rip. Well, okay. I just keep switching servers and it comes back.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's just Discord keeps bloody dropping out.
Yeah, it's fine. All right. So basically, what I was saying is, people like you who are working individually as an independent content creator or with Tommy, but it's not like in an industry sort of. So you don't even need that.
Exactly.
Stuff.
No, yeah. I'd say like literally most editing work you do online, even if it's not for YouTube, even if it's with like, let's say you got an offer of Twitch online as a freelance editor to do some editing work, you still wouldn't need to go into the industry. The industry would be like, for me at a film school, it would be literally editing films, like actually going into a company to learn like to edit for films or edit TV shows. But like the biggest thing is going into editing for like film or TV, you can end up like you can get the same pay for just working online nowadays. If you score a good job or if you score a good place, you can get paid more. Because in film, I get told I have to start off as being as a runner, which is the kind of guy that goes gets coffee for the team, that goes and picks stuff off the floor, might run around set doing stuff for the director. You have to do that for like 2 years, minimum wage, like barely doing anything good, and then you get promoted to even probably a worse job with slightly better pay, when you could be sat at home editing your own independent work and you're under your own company getting better pay, off working for these big companies that are like, hey, we want freelance editors temporarily. It's kind of crazy nowadays.
Yeah, and of course you decide your work hours, you decide your work ethic, your work environment.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely
super cool.
And another thing that I'd like to mention here is recently I heard a quote from Elon Musk, and he said that going to university is not about learning; it's about having fun. And I think I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
It's like
Funnily enough, now that you bring it up, I was speaking to Wilbur Sutt, and I was saying I wasn't really enjoying university, and he goes, "Well, if you're going to university, a lot of it's going to be just socializing, really, and especially during the coronavirus, where most of my stuff's online. What's the point of being at university?
Definitely.
And he had a point 100%. Like most of the people in my course ended up dropping out just because it was completely online." And like at that point, it's just a masterclass. You can get it online or Skillshare, and you can pay even less for that. Because now I'm in debt for like 50 grand.
Damn.
Yeah,
like master classes are like at most just like $1,000. At most,
yeah,
like
exactly.
a really expensive master class is $1,000.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I mean, you're going to be learning like 10 times more through a masterclass opposed to bloody sitting in a classroom for £9,250 a year. Online with just a lecture. That's it's ridiculous. But hey, university's university.
Yeah, I mean, I think so I wanted to get, as I said, I want to get into 3D, right? And there's the program Unreal Engine, which is very famous.
Oh wow, yeah.
And I was gonna learn about that, and there's this guy on YouTube. He just posts like it for free, and these are really informative tutorials, and these like
100%.
5-hour long videos. Like he just puts the whole thing, and he's making a project, and during that project he's teaching us how materials work and how textures work, and it legit felt like a college or a university lecture, and then it was for free.
Exactly.
And then he said,
and even when you're in college, you don't get to sit down, pause the video, go do something, come back, sit down, continue watching the video. Like he probably has refined that tutorial as well, or has probably made sure it's a good tutorial. When I might go into a classroom for my lecture, and my lecturer's feeling a bit sick today, I'm going to get an hour lesson with this guy, and he might not even be teaching me anything that might not. It might not even reflect the course correctly. He might have taught it slightly off. He might not even properly teach me that day. He might just go, "Hey, let me whack on a video." Which in the grand scheme of things, if he's just putting on a video, I could just do that at home on YouTube. It's crazy. It's crazy. And yeah, you're totally right. There's people online that are like probably better than most lecturers. Like an Unreal guy that posts videos for like 5 hours. That's perfect.
I mean, yeah, and on top of that, the guy has a masterclass for just $250, and you can talk to him there.
Exactly. That's perfect, and you get to talk to him. Like when I tried to talk to my lecturer, it took them 2 weeks to reply to me on email, and I'm paying for that experience as well on top. Oh man, I don't know. It's just it's my experience with uni, which would tell people not to, and I really dislike it just because of that reason. I understand if you want to go and get the degree, but it's just like the only thing you would be getting taught is the connections and the professionalism. And I don't know if people are willing to spend an absurd amount of money just for that,
It's like, sort of, I think it's like I always say, this education system is like outdated for this generation, sort of.
Oh, 100%. I totally agree. Especially with the internet now.
Yeah, the internet. It just completely destroys the purpose of this education system because, back in the day, without the internet, people couldn't make these connections or go online and watch a tutorial. And that's why you needed universities, because you can't find... Oh, God. I'm lagging out again.
Mm-hmm.
Am I lagging out?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Am I lagging or not?
Oh, yeah, the connection is dropping again.
Let's rip. All right.
Well, okay, we're in Hong Kong now. Ooh, yeah, we're traveling around the world in this Discord call.
Yeah, we're gonna just So, like I was saying, it's more like when you didn't have that internet, and then you couldn't find these knowledgeable people this easily. Like this guy on YouTube.
Exactly.
They're like there's like a 1 in a million of those people, and that's why you need to go to this college or this university. But now it's just like you just Google it and it's right there.
Yeah, exactly. See, and the good thing about it is you're getting like the best of the best. Because I could be going to a university, right, and the reason the lecturer they've chosen them is just because of distance and they've hired them. But when it comes to the internet decides who they want to become the most popular tutorial channel by how good their tutorials are. Are they good? Are they professional? It's like people are rating their professors and their channels and subscribing to them. So when I type in, I want blended tutorials, I get to see the most popular, the most favorite, and the best tutorial there. So I get the top of the line video, which teaches me everything I need to know, opposed to a lecture that's just local to the area.
Definitely. This
Mhm.
it's just completely outdated, and I actually have like a really harsh voice on this, where I
Yeah.
actually have had a lot of arguments with my parents and my teachers, and I almost
Oh, you will. You will
yeah,
always, yeah.
and
I was lucky to have parents that are quite, easygoing about it, but I understand loads of people have that sort of. The main thing is your parents want you to get the degree, but I mean, there's
yeah,
better. Like the thing they don't understand is you're getting a degree that costs an absurd amount of money, where like you could still earn the same amount as having a degree by probably like especially in editing. Like I'll tell you this now, editing. If you can make a good portfolio and get a good sense of skill in editing that you can show off, you could get a better job than someone that's got a degree, 100%. Like, I mean, the degree is no point. There's nothing they're going to be looking. They're going to go, oh, you got a degree, but can you edit?
yeah,
That's a
definitely.
huge thing.
This is the world we're going into. Like, people don't care about degrees anymore. They're gonna look at your work and then
No,
they're
yeah,
gonna hire you.
exactly. I mean, specifically in like film as well. Like, it's such a film editing, creative stuff. Degrees are pointless nowadays.
Yeah.
That's my opinion as well. I agree with you on that.
And like I've had so many arguments with my parents and my teachers, and I always win them. It's not like I even lose those arguments.
Yeah.
I win them, and then at the end, the only argument that they have is like, it doesn't hurt you to complete your education. It just do it.
It does. It does hurt. The debt is crippling. It's horrible. I hate the debt. It's so, especially nowadays. It's like in the US or in the UK or just around the world. Debt is going up. Like the amount of the loan that you have to take out to go to university is crazy, and people sometimes never get to pay that back because of interest. They
Yeah,
get locked into these horrible things, and it's typical now. It's horrible. It's horrible.
definitely. All right, so that came out to be quite a long answer.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was good. It was good to get that
Yeah,
sorted.
definitely. It's good to have people know this stuff. But
Mhm.
Archie Stan has asked another question, and they ask, "Do you even
Oh,
plan
right.
on editing full time as a job?"
So my plan is I'd like to do editing for content creators for quite a while because it's a very freelance position and you get to stick with content creators. And I'm in a spot where I'm thankfully I'm grateful for I get paid well. But obviously it's something I don't want to do until the future because YouTube editing I don't know how it's going to go because it's a very new industry or new area. Like a lot of people are just discovering how to get paid correctly. Um, but when I'm around, I want to like say I turn 30. I'd like to more focus on setting up my own business, potentially doing advertisement or marketing, editing wise. Because I worked in an advertising agency for 2 years when I first started out, and it was some of the most fun I've had because I got to edit really cool videos. I got to do motion graphics. I got to edit like actual adverts for TV, and it's just super fun. Like the atmosphere is you're with other editors essentially, and it's creative. It was almost like it felt a freelance position because I could walk in at any time I want, sit down, edit with a bunch of people, then head out. It was a very thankful. I loved the job. It was so much fun. Like they even had stuff where, like, at the end of the day, they'd bring around beer and like food and stuff for everyone. You could go karting because I had a go kart track in the back, and then they have like these parties and stuff. It was so much fun. I enjoy that sort of style. I'd like to set up a business like that because I think eventually when I get to 30, I don't want to be just continue editing YouTube videos. I might even still be editing when I'm in the company. It's just I'd like to set up sort of like a place where other editors could come join and then edit stuff professionally opposed to just online.
That's a crazy idea,
But
actually.
it depends how things goes essentially, because it'd be cool
Yeah.
to even do one where it's like imagine a company where you could get a bunch of editors to come in to do YouTube editing, and they get paid well. They get paid an actual salary opposed to depending on what content creator they work for.
Yeah.
They actually have like a good job and a good pay
I think
and like constant work.
yeah, but like companies that like that already exist actually, like render.gg
Oh
and
yeah.
a couple others. They
Oh yeah,
already
yeah, yeah. But the thing is, it's quite new. A lot of them are very new into the game. They're all really good. Don't get me wrong; they're insanely good. But I think since it's such a growing area, especially with how
Yeah.
like when I was working in advertisement agencies have existed for 30, 40 years, but they're still big,
Yeah.
growing, setting up, and all that stuff. So
Of
if I was
course.
to set that up, it's all quite new and relatively, editors and starting to come out and become popular, and people are like, for instance, this edit cast. I think you might have realized by now that editors are, there's more and more editors now coming into the scene
Yeah.
like crazy.
Definitely. I mean, and it's a growing industry, and obviously, the more competition, the better.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, definitely. So actually, I'm actually excited for. So, how old are you right now?
Oh, I'm 20. I just turned 20 this year. A
Alright.
lot of people get surprised because they think I'm like 17, 16, or the opposite. I'm much older than I am, but it's I've just turned 20 and I'm in my second year of uni.
I mean, I think nobody can really tell with your profile picture, so.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
Yeah. But that's okay. Yeah, I'm excited to see like more that kind of industry develop more.
Oh, it's cool. I hope it continues growing.
Yep. Okay, so next question comes from Alpha, but Alpha with a Q. Alka? I don't know. They are asking, have you experienced editing burnout?
Oh, editing burnout. Editing burnout. Oh, I think you can also agree with me. I've experienced 100% experienced editing burnout.
Definitely.
Yeah, editing burnout is like it's the same as having content block. You really gotta work or you gotta do something, but editing burnout can make you. I had a period of time where if I open Premiere Pro, I just feel sick because seeing the UI, thinking about sitting in my chair for 10 hours, thinking about doing one session, having to listen to this video over and over again. I've had editing burnout numerous times. It's horrible. I hated it. But I think the main thing to get out of editing burnout for me was, you got to take a break from time to time. You can't just keep working and working, especially with a freelance position. If you give yourself, I don't know, give yourself a week holiday, do things you actually enjoy, go see your friends, go out, have fun. And then when you come back to it, if you still feel sick, maybe you got to consider, are you editing the right sort of content? Or are you doing the right, content for you to continue editing? Like, for me, for a while, it was because I was editing Minecraft, and I wasn't really a big fan of constantly editing Minecraft. I also edited for the same clients for quite a while. You've also got to think about, maybe do I pick up another client or so? Maybe do I try different programs? Maybe do I experience when I'm editing? Let's have a go at maybe do motion graphics. Maybe should I explore 3D? That's always a nice fun thing to do. Try different areas. It's the main thing is you want to find, as soon as you start feeling editing burnout, you've got to try your best to get out of that burnout. I know that's easy for me to say, but it shouldn't be a thing where you're like, oh, let me just stick through the video, get it finished. Let me finish this video. It should be,
Yeah.
I might not feel the editing burnout after this, but it just keeps going. Once you start feeling the burnout, you'll never stop feeling the burnout until you do something else.
Definitely. Yeah. Take a break. Take a break.
Exactly. Yeah. Definitely. 100%.
I think every editor experiences that, because when you do something for too long, for you do the same thing every day for hours every single day.
Exactly.
It just becomes at a point, it's like, why am I doing this?
Yeah. You get almost existential. You sat in your chair and you're like, oh God, this
Yeah.
again? Another 12 hours of this bloody project,
That, oftentimes, open your PC, that Premiere logo is just there, and it's like, why?
That's exactly it. Seeing it makes me feel so sick. Oh, I hate it sometimes.
I actually had so I started hiding my desktop icon so I wouldn't have to see the logo every single time I started my PC.
I actually, that's such a good thing to do. I've realized, because I don't know if okay, when I hide, I do the exact same thing. I've got this program that hides every icon on my desktop. Hiding, okay, this is a weird thing, but I think for editors know, if you have a clean desktop, you feel 10 times better. Or if you're editing in a clean room, you feel better. Just because it feels like a sense of organization. It seems, you feel top form. It's so good. Oh, I love it. I love it.
And as editors, we are such good organizers. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely, I think it helped. Like, just hiding those icons just helps so much.
Exactly. 100%. I totally agree. It's so nice.
All right. Next question comes from Destiny Plays, whatever. They say, what motivated you at first to start YouTube?
Oh, that's good, because that's more of like starting YouTube or opposed to starting editing. Which is because that starting YouTube is what got me into editing. I think I did it from when I was very, very young, and I think it's the exact same story for everyone, which is I watch someone that I adore, content creator wise. Like I loved, let's say, I Call of Duty Zombies. I loved watching gameplay. I loved watching, FaZe when I was younger. And I was like, you know what? I can do that. And then I realized, oh, I do a very, very poor job. And I've got a blue snowball. And now I'm using my Razer headset. And it's not very entertaining. But I was like, how can I make this better? And I was like, maybe if I learn editing. And then that's when editing was like, oh my God, okay, editing. Sometimes for my videos, I don't even, like, people don't know who I am. I'm just the editor. Like, I did these videos together, and that's somehow managed to spur people watching my stuff or watching me, which is kind of cool. I don't even have to show anything about me.
Yeah, well, first of all, I feel personally attacked because I'm using a blue snowball right now.
I'm using a blue snowball right now. It's handy. It's trust. It's good old trusty.
Yeah, I mean, it's like whenever you go on, when I started this podcast, that's when I bought this, right? And I was just like,
because you look at microphones to buy.
Yeah, I was just like, I want to buy a mic. I want to start a podcast. I need good audio quality, and everybody was just like, blue snowball. It's right there.
Yeah.
It was either this or either. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, it was either this for me or the Blue Yeti, which is like a $50 more. But
oh no, yeah, it's good that you didn't go for the Blue Yeti. Yeah. Everyone's got a blue snowball. It's a perfectly good microphone. It was more of like, I guess I used my Razer headset. That was more what I used. I used the Razer headset, which is the it's super blown out and the audio and the gain's horrible.
Oh yeah.
It was just more of like I was very cookie cutter. I didn't really do anything different in my content. I was very like, today this is episode 1 of me being on Kino de Toten.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I was like, I can make editing videos where I just edit, or I can make videos where I edit something to make it funny, like Lil Board or Much Dank. And then that's kind of when, surprisingly, when I first started out making content, it was posted onto like subreddits and stuff, but the guy that browses, there's a guy called Epic Donut Dude, which is a funny name, but he actually runs the playlist called the Instant Regret playlist. And at first I was like, oh, it's that thing it's a playlist on YouTube that like has really funny videos. And I was like, oh, okay, haha, it's, funny videos and stuff. But that playlist has 1 billion overall views, just that playlist. So people that clicked on that playlist. And I was like, hold on a minute. So does that mean, I thought it was kind of cool. And he added one of my videos to that playlist. And then I woke up one day from having a video that was 1,000 views to 500,000 views overnight.
Wow.
That guy, his playlist can literally make careers. I'm not even joking. He just saw it on a subreddit and he started putting my videos into it. And it started going from 500,000, and then I had like a 300,000, 400,000. And I was like, what is going on? So that was something that really changed everything for me. Like him putting one of my videos into a playlist, that put my Twitter from like 200 followers to 1,000 followers.
I don't know about that guy because I mean, people have brands over YouTube channels. This guy has a playlist.
Yeah, his playlist, and the thing is, he's managed to turn it into an actual like website or like an actual company. Yeah. And it's called Neverthink, I think it's called. Yeah, Neverthink. And it's essentially they curate videos. They bring all these funny videos, new videos people make. It's like a mini YouTube essentially, but for like memes or like meme pages. And he's bloody done a good job. It's really, really cool. But it's so weird, a playlist. I was sat there and I was like, there's no way. But if you click on the playlist, he's got like 6 different ones, and they're like the main one has like over 1 billion views, probably nearly nearing 2 billion. He smashed it. I don't know how, but
yeah, that's crazy. Success story. Mm-hmm. I made a playlist.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay, moving on to the next question comes from Spade. They're asking, how did you begin to learn the software you use now?
So I started out on. All right, I'll tell you the first program I started out on. I started on Final Cut Pro, and I was like, when you're looking in so the thing is, Final Cut Pro is good, but there are a lot of things that I wanted to learn from videos that I watched that I thought were cool. So I was like, how do I make this text move in this certain way? Or how do I make things have motion blur? How do I do all this sort of stuff? And I was like, I Googled it, and every time I Googled it, I was just like, oh, I have to download this bloody program called like Sony Vegas or Premiere Pro or After Effects. And I was like, I don't want to do that. And then as I kept trying to do more and more things, it was just like, okay, I'm going to download Sony Vegas because it's the one that all the Call of Duty guys use, and apparently it's good. And then I got it, and I started using that for a while, and I was like, okay, this is cool. I like it. And then I saw what Premiere Pro and After Effects look like. And the main reason I picked those programs was because it was like a dark mode of Sony Vegas. And I was like, ooh, I want dark mode. So I got Premiere Pro and After Effects. That it literally was because it was bright, and I always edited at night. And I was like, okay, I want dark mode. And they were like, just get Premiere Pro. And I was like, okay.
That is so
but
true.
then, yeah, is it? I swear that's what everyone's reason is to moving sometimes. Like, there's some things, but it's dark mode. It's like, why didn't I have dark mode for so long? I was just like, I'm gonna move to Premiere Pro.
I started out on Vegas. I didn't start in Final Cut, but my first was Vegas,
really?
Right? And I was perfectly comfortable on Vegas, and then I look at Premiere Pro and After Effects' GUI, and I was just like, oh, so modern and so dark.
Ooh,
I want
smooth.
this.
Yeah, that's the reason why I got it. And then it's good though. But then when it came to like learning stuff, it started out as me going, okay, Premiere Pro, I'll use all this sort of effects that's in Premiere Pro and stuff. And then I realized After Effects is what you use for all the crazy stuff. I was like, whoa, After Effects looks like this whole terrifying program to teach me how to do crazy stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm going to download After Effects. I'll see how that is. And I started out, like, how do I attach text to a wall? Or how do I attach text to my finger if I move my finger around? How do I, make this shape move in this crazy way? How do I make a cool, like, logo spin in and stuff? It was all very basic stuff at first. And then once you start the rabbit hole of looking at tutorials, you start finding crazy tutorials. You find channels that do really cool stuff. And then when you start subscribing to all these channels, like I watch stuff like Ben Marriott, Tip Tut, EC Abrams, Workbench, all these tutorial channels for like motion graphics and stuff. You start just going, okay, let me go through all of these and all of these and all of these, and you learn all these crazy things. But the number one thing you need to know is once you learn how to do a certain effect or certain thing to do in these programs, try replicate it. Try do something a bit different. Because if you just try copy something from a tutorial, you don't really learn anything. You need to test or challenge yourself by, okay, maybe this video taught me how I attach something to a wall. How do I attach something to a wall, and then how do I animate it when it's on the wall? How do I let's say rotoscope something, and then how do I use that rotoscope to remove something from a video? It's all about challenging yourself, that extra step, doing that extra bit of, like when teachers give you homework, you do that extra bit of work. It's like do a tutorial and challenge yourself after it.
That is actually a good strategy to learn. I actually, that's good. I mean, like you said, like when I started on After Effects, the main reason was I used to do Vegas, and as I said, I do montages. So in montages, a really popular effect, especially back in the day, was 3D tracking text onto just in the environment. Huge. And there would just be like the text is just standing in the middle of the air.
Exactly. I remember in montages people used to download something called Buju.
Yeah.
To like track stuff into the scene.
Yeah, like Buju and Element 3D. Those two were the main things.
Yeah.
And then so I was doing it on Vegas, and I was like looking for things, and I find out like Vegas doesn't have 3D camera tracking, and then I downloaded After Effects solely for that. And then when I look at the GUI, I was like, oh, fancy. And then you start learning.
I
tried to do a full switch, but then so in montages we do this slow down and fast and everything with the flow.
Oh yeah, velo.
Yeah, velo.
Yeah.
So in Vegas you have velocity, which is a velo, but in After Effects you have time remap.
It's time remapping. Yeah.
And then I tried to learn time remapping to do a full switch, but I couldn't. I was just like, this is too complicated. I can't do this.
It is, yeah, it was complicated. And did you ever get Twixtor, or there's scripts you can use to recreate it?
Yeah, I have Twixtor, but I now just use time remap. But then initially I just went back to Vegas, and whenever I needed to track something, I would go into After Effects, track it, and then come back.
Right.
But then I found I made a few friends in the community, and then all of them used After Effects, and I was like, no, this program is old. Get it out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
And I sort of forced myself to learn a time remap then.
Hey, yeah, that's the way to do it though.
Yeah.
A lot of people need to kind of like, people are like, oh, I will learn it maybe this month, but I don't really want to do it right now. It's worth just kicking down the door and just doing it. It's horrible. You hate it at first. You're like, oh, I have to bloody relearn everything I've learned. Honestly, it's a lot quicker than you think to relearn the stuff you already know, and there's more to do in other programs. Like,
Yeah.
the one thing I do want to bring up though is, don't ever feel pressured to go to other programs purely just because, you know, people are like, oh, your program's terrible, mine's better. I think all programs, you can create some crazy stuff in it, and you don't need. There might be some that are better at certain things, like After Effects has like built-in tracking and stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I genuinely think it's like, if you meet certain people, the best people that are in, you know, Sony Vegas, or the best people in After Effects, they do crazy stuff that you don't even think the program can do, but they do it, and you're like, what the hell? What is this? So I think the elitism about, because obviously it's jokes. Like, I understand the jokes, like it's funny making the whole jokes and stuff. But when people genuinely take it serious and like bash people for using certain programs, I think it's very uncalled for, because, you know, maybe your skill level in, let's say, After Effects is actually, you know, primitive compared to many people can do in Vegas, you know?
Yeah. True.
It's something, I again, there's obviously the jokes, like we all make jokes about the programs and stuff, but I do think it's, I've seen it quite a lot where people bash people for, you know, using certain programs.
Yeah, you know, I've literally seen Twitter threads where people are like, "Oh, you use Vegas, you shut up." Like, why?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, at first, if it's jokes and stuff, I find it so funny. Like, I'm obviously After Effects Premiere Pro all the way, but
Yeah.
it's just there is that small side of elitism where there's people that actually take it serious, and they're just like, oh, I don't hear anything from you. You're a person that uses Sony Vegas, and then exclude them from everything.
Yeah.
When there's people in Vegas that do some insane stuff. Like, I've met loads of people that do stuff in Vegas that I've never ever thought you could do. You know.
Definitely.
It's crazy, but
I think After Effects is like the elite program when it comes to like montages and to music videos, especially where there's a lot of high effect work. You know, it's After Effects after all.
I do think it's very like, there's a lot of tools in After Effects that make it 10 times easier and makes it kind of equipped for that sort of stuff, and that's why I prefer it.
It's like,
but if you are very diehard dedicated to Vegas, I do think you can find different ways to do certain things in that program which are crazy.
Definitely.
Like, I've seen some crazy stuff in Vegas through like plugins and stuff. So
I think
you know,
the thing is with After Effects, the main goal was to, like, you know, produce music videos and make montages, and that's why it comes loaded with that set of arsenal, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Set tools. It's equipped for anything that requires more VFX work opposed to like the regular, you know, structuring sort of program such as Premiere Pro. You know, which uses primitive effects.
But then when you like try to do content, like if you try to make a whole content video on After Effects, then don't do that. Do not do that.
Yeah, you've got to use dynamic link with Premiere Pro if you're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Man, do 10 minutes inside. I don't even do like projects that are more like, I split up all my projects into 1 minute sequences if I'm doing everything in After Effects. You know, I do them, split them up, and then I'll throw them in Premiere Pro. But fuck that, man. Oh.
Wow. I actually, like, when I initially was starting the content editing, and then I was like, I want to do those smooth zooms, and I didn't know how to use the graph in Premiere Pro. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna edit this whole thing in After Effects, and then I tried.
Oh no, bless your soul. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine the pain you went through.
Yeah. And then I was like, how do people do this? And especially,
I actually. Oh wait, wait. So you didn't know about people just doing dynamic link?
I didn't know a dynamic link existed. I had no idea.
Bless you. Oh no, yeah. I actually know someone that's quite popular, like content editor. She's called Connie, and she actually does. She is one of the few people that nearly edits like videos entirely in After Effects. I think she's made the move now. But I don't know. I don't know how she does it. She's really good as well. She's a really good editor. But like, she would show us her timelines, and we were like, "What? Why are you doing everything in After Effects? What are you doing? What are you doing?" It's crazy. I don't know how. It's impossible.
Even like
it's how.
even Premiere timelines look ridiculous when like a video is done.
Yeah, like when a video's done, it's insane. It's just like, oh my god, there must be thousands of pre-comps if she's doing it all in bloody After Effects.
Yeah, and I don't know how. Like, I'm gonna check out some of her work if she does that. That's crazy.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Yeah, of course.
But you know,
really good as well.
Especially like how Premiere handles with the playback stuff. You can almost get a smooth
Oh,
playback,
yeah.
especially with proxies.
Exactly. You don't need to like pre-render either. But in After Effects, you pretty much pre-render everything.
Yeah, you have
It's crazy.
you have to do that, and you can't even use proxies, nothing like that. That makes scrubbing a whole lot harder. You have to like press a specific button to pull up the waveforms. And that's a lot of this annoying things.
10 times more work for something you could do in like seconds in Premiere.
Yeah, and that's what it's like. It was more made for those high effect things where you don't need the audio and when you don't need to repeatedly watch the video back.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you come to Premiere and it's made for content editing, so you have all those tools that help you out.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we have very extended answers for every little question.
yeah. Sorry, I can speed up if you want.
I mean, no, it's fine. I'm having a blast.
Yeah, same. I'm also having a blast. It's good fun.
All right. Next, another question from Archie Stan. They ask, what are your best tips on getting inspiration for your edits?
Ooh, that's a good question, actually. I guess it's just watching other videos, you know? Like, when, obviously the number one thing I hate, well, I mean, it's a 50-50, there's a grey line, but obviously when you're watching a video and you're like, oh, I want to do something similar to that, you don't want to rip and copy the entire thing off them or take their entire idea. But if you can find a way of going, oh, I really like how they've used a certain thing, I want to incorporate into how I would do a project. So, like, I saw a thing from a video where they were posterizing the frame rate of a video. So instead of being at 60, they would force it to go to 30 to make the motion graphics look really nice and sort of like comic book style. And I was like, I want to use that for my showreel. Like, posterizing a frame rate seems really cool. So, like, it's picking up, like, it's me coming up with an idea where I'm like, I want to do this. Like, I've got an idea for something in my brain. I might come up going like, hey, I want to make a video on this, or hey, I want to do something on this, or hey, I want to make like a small edit for Twitter like this. I'd come up with the idea, but then all the effects are drawn from, videos that I've watched or things that I've, recently seen. That's where all my main interests come from.
Definitely. I mean, that's how I do it too. Like, just watch different people. I think one of my most favorite, most famous effects that I ever made, which was a long time ago now, but there was this, I was in a montage and I had a lyric which mentioned, if you've heard the song Overthinker, and if you've not, there's a lyric in the song which says, we're more excited to see our pictures in the newspaper than when they're being taken, or something like that.
Right.
And then, so what I did was, when that lyric is going on, the frame on the screen, it gets a photograph taken off it, and then it zooms out into being a newspaper.
Oh, right? That's cool. That's nice. Yeah.
But and that effect went really famous, and people people copied that frame by frame.
Oof.
And then that was annoying because don't copy it frame by frame, because even my effect was inspired by someone else. But it wasn't a direct copy of their work, because my work was actually an inspiration from another editor who made an edit in which their whole theme was like newspapers. They were just putting up different headlines, and their song.
Yeah, exactly.
Their song wasn't correlating with newspapers, but their edit just had this whole theme around being in the headlines and in the newspaper, and I just took inspiration from there, but I made an entirely different thing with matching my lyrics.
Yeah. See, you're right. There is a completely fine line where it's like inspired by an idea and incorporating it, but like adding your own twist. And then there's just like you said, frame by frame, taking the exact idea, putting it into your own work and not crediting, Yeah. It's just jacking ideas is lame. It's a pain. I do understand that obviously people really like certain ideas and I think it's so cool and it is flattering, and I really appreciate when people might go, oh, I really like what you did there and I wanted to incorporate it. But when it's just straight up stealing it, like a good example that I can provide is Like when I started doing the Tommy sort of motion graphics stuff, it was inspired totally off of like other videos. Like it was inspired off a Ludwig video where he actually did story time himself, and it was PNGs, pictures, and stuff. And I tried to incorporate it, but slightly animate it and do different style because I was speaking to Tommy about it. And then I saw a whole wave of new people start doing that sort of effect in videos. And I'm not saying it was entirely inspired off me, because there are people that probably came up with it before me, or animated pictures and stuff. There's plenty of people that have done it before. But I saw a wave in like the Minecraft community doing it. And like the thing is, people didn't jack the idea completely. Everyone added their own inspiration, added their own style, and I thought that was so cool. Because like I was worried people might just, not to be rude, but like they'd steal the idea, the story time, the whole concept, or everything. But people added their own twist. People like even added rotoscoping. People added, whole fleshed out scenes and worked with the content creator to make it out better. It's cool. I like inspiration, and when people use it quite well.
And the most annoying thing about that was when I got pissed at this guy who copied my effects, people came to me and started telling me, "You don't own that effect. Let him do whatever he wants."
Oh,
it was
man. It's just like, obviously I might not own the effect, but it's just like, it's obviously totally, I put it into the spot and people have now just used it. It's like, it was my identity for this, video I worked on. And if someone's just going to take it and use it for them to make their video better, it's just like, it's harsh. You don't want to be that guy, but like, if you're going to straight up, steal something, it's just lame. It's lame.
Definitely. So yeah, don't steal. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah, exactly. Be inspired.
Yes, be inspired. That's what makes something cool. Inspiration is normal, and especially in the creative industry work thing.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, exactly.
Everybody, welcome back to the episode 20 of the podcast. This is the last 5-10 minutes that we're recording again, because in the initial recording we lost the last 10 minutes. So we're gonna be continuing where we left off, which was the question you were answering was Saffron asked, how do you figure out what to record and what attracts you to what you end up doing?
So I think the way we phrased this last time, from what I remember, is obviously it's not me recording, it's more of what I'm editing. So it's like what do I keep in the video and what I don't keep in the video. It's specifically what I look for first is comedic timing, when there's the most laughs from the creator themselves or the people they're surrounded by. Because usually that's what the audience is there for. When they're watching the creator, they want the funniest moments, the most reactions. So I usually target that first. But then it's also important to keep the context for each of the parts of the videos. So like if there's an ongoing bit throughout the entire video, it's that's why it's kind of important to watch the video first, to understand is there anything you might miss out? Is there anything you might cut out that the client wants to keep in? Is there any overarching sort of context from other videos? So it's important to keep that sort of bit, especially with Tommy's Dream SMP videos. It was important that I kept in, bits from other videos, just in case if it was going to carry on into a future, video. So I think it's very important to remember context, comedic timing, and then also just reactions in general.
Well, so sometimes, but the content creator themselves, want a certain part of the video inside, so they have a rough idea of what they want in the video themselves. So,
yeah, definitely.
What if you have limitations with that? Is it any harder to do that? Because
so usually it's not really limitations. It's more of they say, you can do as much as you want with the video as long as you've got this skeleton of the video. As long as you've got the main part of the video, which is this section, this section, this section, or as long as you keep in all the bits where I'm with this person, then you can add any additional parts. But if they're looking for a video that's very strict on narrative, then you kind of just abide by what they want you to do. It will most of the time it will mean you have to do a lot of back and forth contacting with the client. So maybe you have to do a couple of feedback, drafts, just so they're happy with it. there are those limitations though. Usually the more specific it is, the more drafts you have to do and the more communication you have to do with the client. But I'm sure the client, if they're being that specific, they're more acceptable to, your input. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll close
Okay.
my window. Sorry.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, apologies about that. There you go.
No problem. All right. Well, so that was the last question that they actually had from the viewers section, but
Okay.
I wanted to ask one more, which was
Yeah, go
about Tommy's videos. So
Yeah.
you said you only you don't edit every video because that's normally Larry, like the most regular ones.
Yeah.
And then you did the
Yeah, yeah.
special ones or the story time ones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, is do you have any special tips for the motion design stuff you do? Because I edit, like I told you, I recently started content editing, and when you have to include like motion design as a thing in content, it just takes so much time. So, do you have any tips on how to be quicker with that?
So when I first started out, it was one thing I kind of didn't realize is if you're doing 10 minutes of full motion graphics and design and, building up your own assets, limiting yourself to less than a week on a video is very, very hard. So you have to kind of, number one thing as a tip, which is not even in the motion design, it's telling your client that, look, this is going to be a lot more work. I'm going to be spending more hours in this. You should also ask if you can get paid more just because it's, possibly 2 times the work, maybe even more. So that's number one. I think establishing with the client that it's going to take a lot more time and it's a lot more work, but it's worth it in the end because it's got better viewer retention. Number two, I do think don't go too overboard. Stick to what your client wants because once again, it's all about the client. It's about the content creator themselves. If you start to kind of steal the spotlight, unless your client allows you to, which Tommy was allowing me to, do what I'd like to do, which was cool. Try not to, obviously have your flair, do what you want to do, make it look nice. But if you end up making whole content essentially about your editing and less about your client, then you kind of lose the sort of viewer base. Like the viewer's there to watch listen to your client's story or listen to your client's work. But if they're just only seeing your work and then not much of the client, then you kind of lose that sort of touch. And also your client might not like it as much. And then when it comes to the actual my next tip, when it comes to the actual planning and motion graphics, it's important to establish what your workflow is very quickly. So you don't want to head in and start off with a workflow and then maybe 10 minutes into the video you realize this is going to this is taking me way much more time than it should have. So for instance, utilizing maybe splitting up Premiere Pro segments, like maybe what I did with Tommy was every 10 seconds would be a new segment, and then I'd render the 10 seconds using like the render and replace in Premiere Pro, just so I didn't have to, because I've previously, like years ago, when I tried to do stuff like this, I would never render and replace. I would just keep it as a comp inside Premiere Pro, and it would lag because obviously every single time I wanted to watch it, I'd have to do a pre-render, which was ridiculous. So I think that's something really important to do. So like rendering each After Effects comp. And then again, for more specific with what I do, I think it's like for tips from, when I did my videos is add something unique, add something that hasn't been done before. And as with Tommy, I was thinking about different ways of transitioning scenes. I thought instead of like 2D, like these characters bouncing up on the screen, what about we had a 3D camera and then we had some 3D depth to each scene? So then it's 2.5D on each scene. There's a little bit of bounce of the characters come in, and then there was the eyes, which were all, which were influenced. But we wanted to use the eyes for like the additional animation, so something was going on. I do think having your own little trademark or your own little thing, so it adds more uniqueness, and people want to contact and reach out to you because it's something different.
Yeah, definitely, because like I said earlier in the podcast, it was like once I saw an edit from you and I wanted to contact you for the podcast, but then I saw like the next few videos from Tommy which were edited by Larry, and I just didn't see that your touch in the video. And then in the how my college found out about my channel, when I saw that video, I was instantly like, yeah, this was the video I watched. Like this was the editor. So yeah, there's definitely, you have your own touch in the video, and that influences the viewer definitely.
Yeah, I like the thing is I totally appreciate that people have managed to pick up, recognizing the editing, either if it's negative if I use certain effects too much, or if positive if they've managed, to be, I mean, not influenced, but inspired to do something with it, which I think is cool. I do think it's really cool seeing uh editors have their own little, touch or something added from them, which is cool.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's the last question that we had that I had
Yeah,
to
sweet.
re-ask you because we lost the last 10 minutes the last time, which was pretty annoying.
Yeah,
And yeah, well, thank you so much for your time once again.
no
You
worries. Thank you for having me.
2 weeks earlier and now. Uh, but yeah, thank you for everything. Thank you everybody for watching. And is there anything you'd like to say before we end?
Well, I guess keep your head down, get through your client work, and have fun editing. That's the main thing.
Definitely have fun editing. Well, thank you so much for your time once again.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.